it's Miss Semmlinger, and this week we are going to be talking about fairy tales. So, do you know what a fairy tale is? So, a fairy tale is a type of folk tale with magical characters, places, or events. Well, what's a folk tale? So let's go over what a folk tale is. So a folk tale is a made-up story from long ago that people tell over and over and over again, right? So folk tales often have people and talking animals as characters, and they teach lessons. So some folk tales that you might know are like Little Red Riding Hood, The Little Boy Who Cried Wolf, Stone Soup, The Little Red Hen, or Anais the Spider, right? Okay, so now that we know what a folk tale is, let's go back to fairy tale. So remember, a fairy tale is a type of folk tale with magical characters, places, or events. So the main difference between a fairy tale and a folk tale is magic, right? So fairy tales have magic. They have castles, fairies, witches, kings and queens, giants, talking animals, all kinds of things. So we are going to read a very popular fairy tale, and I bet you already know what it is. It's The Three Little Pigs. So let's get started. The Three Little Pigs, retold and illustrated by Barry Moser. The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time when animals could talk the same as people, three little pigs lived with their mother in a forest. It was Valentine's Day when Big Mama Pig said, "It's time for you to go out into the wide world and seek your fortune. But remember, beware of the big bad wolf." Then she kissed them all around, and the three little pigs set out on their travels, each taking a different road. The first little pig hadn't gone far before he met a man carrying a bundle of straw. "Please, will you give me some of that straw to build a house?" "Certainly," replied the man, and he gave the pig a big bundle. No sooner had the little pig finished the house than a wolf came along and knocked at the door and said, little pig, let me in." But the little pig just laughed and answered, "Ha, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." Then the wolf said loudly, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house in because it was only straw. Then the wolf ate up the little pig and didn't leave so much as the tip of his curly tail. The second little pig also met a man, and this man was carrying a bundle of wood. "Please," said the little pig politely, "will you give me some wood to build a house?" The man agreed, and the little piggy set to work building himself a snug little house. It was scarcely finished when the wolf came along and said, little pig, let me in." No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," answered the pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said the wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed, and at last he blew the house in and gobbled the little pig right up. Now the third little pig met a man with a load of bricks and said, "Please, may I have some bricks to build a house?" The man agreed and also gave the pig some mortar and trowel, and the little pig built himself a nice, strong little house. As soon as it was finished, the wolf came to call, just as he had done to the other little pigs, and said, little pig, let me in." But the little pig answered, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then," said the wolf, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." Well, the wolf huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed and he huffed and he puffed, but he couldn't blow the house in. At last he had no breath left to huff and puff, so he sat down outside the little pig's house to think. After a while, the wolf came out and called out, "Little pig, I know where there's a nice field of turnips." "Where?" said the little pig. "Behind the farmer's house, 3 fields away. I'll meet you here tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, and we'll go here together and get some breakfast." "All right," said the little pig. "I'll be ready." Well, the smart little pig got up at 5 and scampered away to the field and brought home a fine load of turnips before the wolf came. At 6 o'clock, the wolf came to the little pig's house and said, "Little pig, are you ready?" "Ready?" cried the little pig. "I've been to the field and back long ago, and now I'm busy boiling a pot full of turnips for breakfast." Well, the wolf was very angry indeed, but he made up his mind to catch the little pig some way or another. So he told them that he knew where there was a nice apple tree. "Where?" asked the little pig. "Around the hill in the orchard," the wolf said. "If you promise not to play any more tricks, I'll meet you here tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock and we'll go there and get some apples." The next morning, the piggy got up at 4 o'clock and was gone long before the wolf came. But the orchard was a far way off, and besides, he had the tree to climb, which was not an easy matter for a little pig. So before he had filled the sack that he had brought, he saw the wolf coming towards him. The little pig was dreadfully afraid, but he thought it was better to try and outsmart the wolf. So when the wolf said, "Little pig, why are you here before me? Are they nice apples?" he replied at once. "Yes, very. I'll throw one down for you to taste." So he picked an apple and threw it as far away as he could while the wolf ran running to fetch it. The pig had time to jump down and scamper away home. The next day the wolf came again and told the little pig that there was going to be a fair in the town that afternoon and asked if he wanted to go together. "Oh, yes," said the pig. "I'll go with pleasure. What time will you be ready to start?" 3:30, said the wolf. Of course, the little pig started long before that, and he went to the fair and bought a fine, large butter churn made by Huffin' and Puffin Churn Company. He was trotting away with it on his back when he saw the wolf coming. He didn't know what else to do, so he crept inside the churn to hide, but the churn started rolling down the hill, and it went rolling over and over with the little pig squealing inside. The wolf couldn't imagine what the strange thing rolling down the hill could be, so he turned tail in fright, and he ran home without going to the fair at all. Then he went to the little pig's house to tell him how scared he had been by the large round thing that came rolling past him down the hill. "Ha ha 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 ha!" laughed the little pig. "So I scared you, eh? I'd been to the fair and bought a butter churn. When I saw you, I got inside and rolled down the hill." This made the wolf so angry that he declared he would jump down the chimney and eat up the little pig. But that clever little pig put a pot of water on the hearth and made a blazing fire. Just as the wolf was coming down the chimney, the pig took off the cover and in fell the wolf. In a second, the little pig had popped the lid on again. The little pig had wolf stew for supper, and after that he lived happily all his days and was never troubled by a wolf again. The end. Okay, guys, so since we just read the book, now I have a challenge for you. So this week's activity is a challenge. And the challenge is I want you to try to build a house out of something in your house. And then you're going to pretend to be the big bad wolf, and you're going to pretend to huff and puff and blow it down. So I made some houses. 1, 2, 3. And I am going to pretend to be the big bad wolf, and I'm going to try to blow them down. So let's start with the first one. I made this one out of instant oatmeal packages. The second one I made out of crayons. And the third one I made out of honey oat bars. So, alrighty. Let's get started. Ready? Okay. So, make sure you can see it. I'm going to huff and puff and ooh. Not very strong, huh? Huff and puff and it blew down. So, let's try the next one, which is this one. So, I'm going to huff and puff and ooh. hear that? That one was even easier to blow down. Okay, let's do the last one. Ready? So here it is. Okay, I'm gonna huff and puff and I'm getting out of breath, but only one of them fell down. So it looks like this was my strongest house. Okay, so it's your turn now, and you have the challenge to build some houses and try to huff and puff and blow them down. I can't wait to see the videos. Bye!